in for their leathery hide. And they've got a bit of a nickname out here at Hobbiton. They do occasionally get referred to as McDonald's, so apologies to any vegetarians or vegans that we've got on board. I think you might guess where they end up. Now if you just look out to the right hand side, you can see there's a little white house up on the hill there. That's the Alexander family homestead, so that is where Craig Alexander currently lives with his wife Tina and with their young children as well. Now to the right, you're also looking down through the Henrietta Valley, and you can really appreciate what it was that Peter Jackson was seeing when he arrived out here in the late 1990s. Beautiful green rolling hills, scattered tree lines, and the Kaimai Mountains off there in the distance. Now we're also going to be collecting your tour guide here, folks, so if everyone wants to get ready to say a very big hi, this is Hannah.
Hello. Hello.
So Hannah's going to be taking care of you guys from now. I've just put on a little video clip for you, and in it you'll be hearing from Sir Peter Jackson, who is the director of the movies, of course, as well as Russell Alexander, who is the middle son in the family and the general manager of the tourism company. So sit back and enjoy, guys, and I'll talk to you all soon.
Hello, I just wanted to welcome you on your journey to Hobbiton. I'm very, very pleased that you're able to take the time to go visit our set. It's great when you're making a movie, everything's so temporary. The film survives, but the sets and the costumes and the props that you make, they all just get thrown away. And so I'm delighted that Hobbiton has managed to survive, and I'm really pleased that you're taking the time to visit it, and I hope that you enjoy yourself. It's been years ago that we were flying around in a helicopter and found the Alexander farm from the air, and it for some reason from the air it looked right, and when we landed it was absolutely perfect, as I'm sure you'll see for yourselves. So thank you very much to the Alexander family for their brilliant support over the years, and especially to Russell, who has been the greatest business partner to have, and as you'll see yourself, doing a fantastic job, making you very welcome. So thank you and enjoy yourselves.
From the entire Alexander family and everyone here on set, we're thrilled to have you. Your tour starts with a journey through a 1,250-acre working sheep and beef farm. It's these rolling green hills that attracted the location scouts way back in 1998. After the completion of filming The Lord of the Rings in 2000, the set was torn down and Hobbiton was left as little more than a sheep paddock. So when Peter and his team returned for The Hobbit, we seized the opportunity to partner up and rebuild the set permanently, and it's been growing ever since. It's been an incredible journey, one we're proud to share with you today. Enjoy.
Alrighty guys, so after all the movie contracts were signed, one of the first things they needed to organise was a way to access the site, because it is tucked right down the back of the farm. So Peter Jackson approached Helen Clark, who was our Prime Minister of the day, and explained to her that he wanted to make some films in New Zealand, but he was rapidly running out of money. Was there anything she could do to help? Now in turn she had to explain that there was no money left in the national budget, but she would try to figure something out. And that ended up being our New Zealand Army. So they actually came and laid the road down for us, and they did some other odd jobs around the place. In return, Pete put them in the movie, and what better part for them than the Orc Army. So we actually see a lot of them down at the battle at Minas Tirith, which is quite cool. Now as we come up here, folks, you're going to want to keep looking out to the right hand side, and in a second you'll get your first little glimpse of our film set. You'll be able to see the large oak beer barrel on the wagon, the back of the thatched roof mill house, the double arched stone bridge, and Hannah is going to lead you guys all across that a bit later as you make your way into the Green Dragon Inn. So the Green Dragon is where you guys will get to experience a wee bit of Hobbit hospitality, and you also get to try some of our exclusive Hobbiton beverages there as well. Now the next video clip that I've just popped on for you is a behind the scenes look at the filming of The Hobbit. The areas you'll see on screen will actually correspond with where we'll be driving through. The first one is just over the hill and on the right. It's a collection of workshops and a car park area today. During filming it was referred to as the technical car park. It's where they stored all their movie making equipment. So cameras, lighting, monitors, microphones and pyrotechnics, to name a few. It's also where they built the first Hobbit hole facades for Lord of the Rings. Now of course back then it was all just temporary, polystyrene, plastic, untreated timber and plyboard. Nowadays it's known as Dusty Haven, and it's the home of our gardening and our maintenance crew. Out here to the left there's a narrow strip of pasture before the fence. This was known as Animal Kingdom. We had 29 different species of animals that were housed here, all in various pens and enclosures, some just tethered. They of course had handlers and trainers with them, and there were 3 on-call veterinarians to take care of them as well. And sticking with the left, the flat field area, this actually used to be a hill that the army levelled off to make a place known as base camp. All outdoor filming locations have one. It's where you go first thing in the morning, you get your costume, hair, makeup and prosthetics put on. There are mobile ablutions and showers, air-conditioned trailers for the main stars, and the most frequently visited tent on the whole site is Craft Services, also known as the Food Marquee. Now this is where they could seat up to 500 people at a time, and they were feeding them a 2-course breakfast, 2-course lunch and a 3-course meal for dinner, with lots of gourmet snacks in between. So there's never any excuses for little skinny hobbits. Now as we start to come out down the hill, folks, if you look out to the left, you can see the hilltop with some trees at the top of it. Bit of a gap in the middle of those trees. Now through there is where the next scene was actually filmed. Now you might remember it from the beginning of the Fellowship when Frodo first meets Gandalf in the East Farthing Woods. It's the second half of that scene, the first half of which was actually filmed in the Otaki Gorge down by Wellington.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Alright guys, now when you stand up from your seats, please make sure you take all of your personal things with you, as I am going to go around and collect a few more groups before we see you later on today. That includes any rubbish as well. If you take off the bus, inside the gates and on the right is where the bin is. Now remember that you're part of a guided tour. That means that you must stay with Hannah at all times. She has some fantastic stories and things to share with you, and she's also the only way you're going to get that beer at the pub, so make sure not to lose her. But if you want to head in through these gates, you can meet her at the Welcome to Hobbiton sign, and there are some health and safety rules to discuss before you go into set. Have a great time, take lots of photos, and I'll see you all a bit later on today.